Have you ever felt like you're just an actor playing a part in your own life? Like you're stuck on stage reading lines you didn't write? Well, what if you could actually step off that stage and just watch the play from the audience? Today, we're diving into a really fascinating framework that explains exactly that. It's all about the mechanics of how a soul experiences reality and how you can go from being a trapped character to a free spectator. Let's get into it.
Okay, so right at the heart of this whole thing is a really simple but powerful distinction. On one side, you've got what's called the ignorant soul. This soul is completely stuck in the drama. It's getting tossed around from one scene to the next, and it's absolutely convinced that it is the character it's playing. But then, on the other side, you have the aware soul. This one gets it. It understands that it's separate from the mind, separate from the character. And because of that, it's free. It can literally just withdraw from a scene whenever it wants.
And that, right there, is the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, if one state is basically a prison and the other one is freedom, how in the world do you make that leap? How do you go from feeling every single punch the character takes to just becoming a calm observer, watching the story unfold from a safe distance? Well, the answer lies in a single crucial control mechanism.
And that mechanism is something called your awareness setting. Just think of it like the master control dial for your soul. It's the setting that determines everything about how you experience reality. And what's cool is, it's not about changing what happens in your life, but about changing how closely you experience it all. What's so wild is how this is described. The awareness setting isn't just some idea. It's a core arrangement that's literally baked into your soul's code. It really is like a slider or a volume knob you can turn up or down. At the lowest setting, you're 100% immersed right there in the action. But at its highest, you're way back in the nosebleed seats, just watching from a huge distance.
So this scale really represents a whole spectrum. At one end, you've got 0, total immersion. This is where you are the character, feeling every single thing with the absolute maximum intensity. At the other end, once you get over 50, you become a detached observer, just watching from afar. But here's the key. The ultimate goal isn't to just live up there as a permanent observer. Nope. The real goal is to gain mastery over that whole range, from 1 to 99, so you can adjust your experience whenever you need to.
But here's the catch. Here's the trap. That total immersion, that 0 setting, while it's dangerous, it's also incredibly appealing. As this quote explains, it's tantalizingly enjoyable. And why? Because it lets you have the most intimate, intense experience possible. It's the thrill of the roller coaster, right? But staying there, stuck at 0, that's exactly what keeps a soul locked in, unable to get out when the drama turns painful.
Alright, so if mastering this setting is the key to everything, how do you actually learn to control the dial? How do you get a handle on it? According to this framework, there are 2 main ways to go about it, 2 primary paths to make your inner world visible to yourself. And that's the first step toward freedom. So let's check out these 2 paths. Here they are, side by side. On the one hand, you've got the path of knowledge. This one's for the people who are brave enough to question literally everything. It's a deep, analytical dive into your own mind, taking it all apart, piece by piece, until you can see the machinery and separate yourself from it. Then you've got the path of devotion. This one is totally different. Instead of deconstructing your own complex mind, you basically surrender it and adopt a new, much simpler one.
So while that path of knowledge sounds really intense, the path of devotion is actually described as the more common route. Let's look a little closer at how it works, because it's pretty clever. It's all about simplification. You surrender to a guru or a deity. This new authority then replaces all your complex, messy goals and beliefs with simple, singular ones. Your dozens of social labels become just 2. Your need to maintain all these different self-images shrinks down to just 1, being a sincere devotee. You're basically trading all that exhausting complexity for a simple, focused framework.
Now, I know this can all sound pretty abstract and out there. So let's make it real. Let's look at a case study that shows all these principles in action. This is the story of Anita, a soul whose life is about to get turned completely upside down by a sudden shift in her awareness. So, picture this. Anita is in a supermarket, and she's desperately trying to hold on to the one single image she has left, that of a normal, middle-class person. But the stress of being poor is just crushing her. She's checking prices, she starts to panic, she fumbles, and then it all goes wrong. She slips, she falls, and that whole illusion she was fighting for just shatters into a million pieces. And in that one moment of total unintentional surrender and absolute despair, her soul detaches. It becomes a spectator to her own misery.
And this is where things get really, really interesting. The soul, now momentarily aware and detached from that character script she was living, let's call that one Anita 728, is suddenly able to migrate. And in the next instant, we see a totally new scene. The soul is now experiencing the life of Anita 849. This character is walking out of the same store, but instead of being a sobbing mess on the floor, she's on her phone, and she's getting this incredible news that's going to end her family's poverty for good.
So, listen, this is the crucial point. The story of Anita 728, the one crying on the supermarket floor, that story continues exactly as it was scripted. But the conscious entity, the soul, it has moved. It literally jumped from one parallel reality, one character script, to another, much better one. The character is just the vehicle. The soul is the driver who just learned how to switch cars.
Okay, so Anita's story really drives home an incredible idea. Our experience of life is not nearly as fixed as we think it is. By understanding these mechanics, we can actually start to see how to master our own experience instead of just being tossed around by it.
So what are the big takeaways here? What should you really hold on to from all this? First, the ultimate goal is to become a spectator of your own life, to be able to watch the drama without getting sucked into it. Second, and this is so important, you don't have to be a perfect master. Even just brief, fleeting moments of awareness can be enough of a window for a shift to happen, for you to migrate to a better life script. And most importantly, your reality is not set in stone. It can be changed.
And if you're going to remember one thing, just one single thing from this entire explainer, please make it this. When a soul changes characters, all the knowledge, all the memories, all the skills, they get left behind with the old character. It's a total wipe. The only thing that carries over, the one skill that is permanent and travels with you, is your soul's mastery over its own awareness setting. That is true, transferable wealth.
Which, of course, leaves us with one final question to really think about. As you go about your day, think about the scenes you find yourself in. Are you lost in the role, just reacting to every plot twist and every line you're fed? Or can you, maybe even for just a second, feel yourself sitting back in your seat, watching it all unfold from the audience?